organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, snow woes. See how the storm affected the trial of Justin Marshall.
Not giving up, learn how the Iowa City Board of Supervisors is revamping their plans for the Justice Center.
And in sports, while it may be chilly outside, the men and women's basketball teams look to heat things up on the hardwood.
That's all coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning into your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Brad Maxwell.
And I'm Iowan Simic.
The snowstorm has been affecting more than just local drivers and students trekking to class. The trial for 20-year-old Justin Marshall was canceled on Wednesday due to the snow. The judge made the decision to postpone the hearing, but the court is expected to resume on Thursday at 9 a.m. Marshall was charged with the first-degree murder with the killing of John Versept in October of 2009. In Iowa City, remained under a winter storm warning until 6 p.m. Wednesday night. Daily Iowan TV's Logan Edwards went out during the day to see how exactly bad it was. Logan?
Only in the Midwest can you see thunderstorms, ice storms, 40-degree weather, and now snow. Right now it's in the mid-20s, and later tonight we can expect single-digit temperatures. We'll let you know what's coming up for the rest of the week later in the show.
And Iowa City has officially become a Blue Zone. The Blue Zones project is a community-based approach to change the environments in which Iowans live. The program is part of Governor Branstad's Healthiest State initiative. Sioux City, Cedar Rapids, Muscatine, Oskaloosa, and Marion were 5 other cities that became a Blue Zone. They joined 19 other Iowa cities that are participating in the project. Iowa City Area Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Nacy Qualhorst told the Daily Iowan, quote, "We are elated to have been selected as a Blue Zones community. Blue Zone strategies will reduce healthcare costs and positively impact the at-large community," end quote. The Chamber will receive assistance from national experts beginning in 2014 to help maintain the Blue Zone status.
This past November's election decided the fate of many local issues, including the proposed Johnson County Justice Center. The proposal failed, but the Board of Supervisors isn't taking no for an answer. Board members took their concerns from the public into account and made revisions to the plan. They hosted a public hearing on Tuesday night to get additional feedback. Daily Iowan TV's Rebecca Swides has the story.
Last night, concerned Johnson County citizens joined the Board of Supervisors to discuss a new plan for the proposed Justice Center.
The voters still do not know what's going on.
County officials held the hearing to discuss a new proposal after an earlier version of the plan was denied during the November election. If the new plan is approved, the Justice Center will be built directly behind the already existing Johnson County Courthouse. A walkway would connect the 112-year-old building to a new facility containing a sheriff's office, jail, additional courtrooms, and more office space. Many who attended the public hearing were there to support the board and their newly revised plan.
We have a human rights crisis right now. This jail that we have is inadequate.
However, some of the attendees were concerned with the appearance, energy efficiency, cost, and need for the Justice Center.
Hearing about how it costs about $3,500 a day or 1 point whatever million it is to send prisoners out of county. Well, we're not factoring in the fact that there is also cost keeping those prisoners here.
The referendum failed to pass in November after narrowly missing the 60% of votes it needed to be approved. The board members have since revised the plan by improving the building's appearance and bringing the cost from $46.8 million down to $43.5 million. Rebecca Swides, Daily Iowan TV.
Board members said they will make further revisions to the proposal. The earliest the new bond referendum can be voted in is on May 7th. And still to come on Daily Iowan TV, see how your ID can double as a passport.
And in sports, a major court ruling may shake the foundations of the NCAA. As you know it, but first, let's go back to Logan Edwards for weather forecast. Logan, will there be any more snow like there was today?
Thanks, Giovanna. The snow should be gone for the next few days. I've warmed up a little bit from outside weather, and I'm ready for your 6-day forecast. So let's take a look at the rest of the week. Tonight and into tomorrow, we will experience the single-digit temperatures with a high of 8 degrees and a low of -8 degrees. On Friday, we'll have a high of 13 degrees and a low of 12 degrees. We will kick off the weekend on a Saturday with a high of 26 degrees and a low of 16 degrees. Sunday, it will remain pretty consistent with a high of 25 degrees and a low of 24 degrees. It's warming up a bit on Monday with a high of 34 degrees and a low of 22. That's all I have for weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Congress passed the Real ID Act in response to 9/11 to increase the safety of citizens and protect them against identity theft and fraud. This means citizens will be required to get federally compliant IDs and driver's licenses. The Iowa Department of Transportation began issuing these IDs early January, and since then, many Iowa City residents have already obtained theirs. In the future, the Real IDs will be required when boarding aircrafts and to enter federal facilities, but there is no real rush. They won't be required for another few years. A Real ID looks very similar to a normal ID, but they are marked with an orange star in the top right corner. Along with the star comes many advantages, the most important being its cost efficiency.
Last week, the Pentagon lifted a ban that prevented women from fighting in military combat roles. Current members of the military, veterans, and ROTC members have weighed in over the past week, and on what this change really means. The change in policy sparked excitement and debate among Americans. A Pew Research Center poll showed that 66% of people polled were in favor of the ban lift, while 26% were opposed to it. These feelings were shared on the University of Iowa campus yesterday as well. Sonia Hyman, a sophomore in the ROTC program, said she thinks the policy being lifted is a positive change for women. However, some, like UI freshman Rob McCollin, are worried that women and men's standards won't be equal. Divided opinions also extended to Congress, which has 30 days to discuss the issue. If the ban is officially lifted, women could be integrated into combat roles by 2016. And now let's take a look at what's happening outside of Iowa. The owner of a nightclub in southern Brazil, where more than 230 people died in a fire last week, blamed the country, the architects, and inspectors who have made sure the building was safe, according to his lawyer. Jader Marquez said his client, Alessandro Spohr, told him he regretted having ever been born because of his grief over the fire. However, he still blamed the tragedy on a, quote, succession of errors made by the whole country, end quote. Police said the fire likely started when the band playing at the club lit a flare, which ignited flammable soundproofing foam on the ceiling.
With the Super Bowl being held in New Orleans this year, the game poses a challenge for the police force. The head of the New Orleans FBI office and other federal authorities held a news conference today to discuss security details. With Mardi Gras coming after the Super Bowl, security will have to be tighter during game day. Security precautions will include restrictions on air traffic in the vicinity of the Superdome and pat-down searches of ticket holders entering the stadium. Super Bowl 47 begins Sunday, February 3rd at 5:30 p.m. And now for your Hawkeye Sports Update, let's go to Eric Don. Eric?
Thanks, Giovanna. Hello and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. We have a busy slate for you tonight as we preview both the men and women's basketball teams who are in action Thursday night. Also, we look at a monumental decision that may cost the NCAA billions of dollars. But first, we start with basketball, as both the men and women prepare to continue their Big Ten schedules. I'm a gentleman, so we'll let the ladies go first. The Iowa women's basketball team found themselves ranked for the first time in 2 seasons this week, and they look to stay in the top 25 when they travel to Assembly Hall to take on Illinois. Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Kate Constable previews the Hawkeyes' battle in Champaign. Kate?
The Iowa women's basketball team will travel to Champaign, Illinois to take on the Fighting Illini on Thursday. Based on Iowa's previous record against Illinois, some may say that this one's already in the bag. Iowa has won their last 8 contests and are 14 of 15 against the Illini. However, with a new program under first-year head coach Matt Bullant, the Illini defense is looking pretty strong. They're extremely quick on the ball and will look to trap in the full court, which is something that Hawkeye ball handlers, especially point guard Sam Logic, will have to be aware of. Iowa has recently broken into the top 25, and with Illinois' Big Ten home record at 3-0, Iowa will look to continue their 3-game win streak on Thursday before they head back to Carver to take on Northwestern. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Kate. Well, things aren't quite as rosy for Fran McCaffrey's bunch after they fell to 2-5 in the Big Ten with a loss at Purdue. Luckily for the Hawkeyes, the last place Big Ten team is just what the doctor ordered as the 0-8 Penn State Nittany Lions roll into Iowa City tomorrow night. Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Annie Constable gets you set for tomorrow night's action. Annie?
The Hawkeye men's hoops team is coming off another nail-biting loss in the Big Ten, falling to Purdue 65-62 in overtime on Sunday. And with the Big Ten competition being as difficult as it is right now, shooting under 35% is not going to result in wins. The problem for this Hawkeye squad has been their shooting. The Hawks shot just 35% against 11th-ranked Ohio State and shot 31% against Purdue on Sunday. In the past month, the Hawks have played 4 ranked squads, played 4 of 7 games on the road. The Hawks have seen much improvement, but with 4 out of their 5 games coming down to 4 or fewer points, it's clear that this is still a very young team. They've really struggled offensively down the stretch, seeming unable to get any offensive rhythm going late in games, which doesn't help when they're losing by 4 or fewer points. While a win against Penn State tomorrow night would assist this Hawks team on their journey to postseason play, a loss would cast them out completely. Despite Penn State's 0-8 Big Ten record, McCaffrey assured that tomorrow night's game would still be a battle. Iowa leads the all-time series over the Nittany Lions 23-13 and split last year's meetings, winning 77-64 on their home court, but falling 69-64 in State College. One question that still remains for a lot of Hawkeyes fans has been the play of Mel Sambasabi and whether his explosiveness off the bench will earn him the starting spot in tomorrow night's game. Be sure to tune in to check on this Hawkeye squad. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Annie. The NCAA took a big hit yesterday as Judge Claudia Wilkin dismissed a motion by the NCAA to prevent football and men's basketball players from pursuing a share of live broadcast revenue. In an article released by ESPN's Outside the Lines, the ruling forces the NCAA to answer in court the class action lawsuit filed by current and former NCAA athletes led by former UCLA star Ed O'Bannon. The players are looking to receive a portion of the TV revenue that the NCAA generates while broadcasting live football and men's basketball events. Now, collegiate athletes are considered amateur athletes unable to be compensated for their work, and if the court rules in favor of the players, it would be the first case where collegiate athletes could legally be paid for their services. The decision could cost the NCAA billions of dollars in revenue. Don't expect this issue to be resolved anytime soon, however, because the jury trial is scheduled for June 2014. And the Super Bowl 47 is only 4 days away, and for the 4th year in a row, the Iowa Hawkeyes will be represented in the big game. 2 former Hawkeyes, Marshall Yanda and Sean Considine, will take the field for the Baltimore Ravens Sunday when they take on the San Francisco 49ers. Yanda, a Cedar Rapids native, was their offensive MVP in 2006 and second-team All-Big Ten for the Hawkeyes. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Ravens, where he has played his entire career. Yanda was selected to his 2nd straight Pro Bowl this season. Sean Considine was a key member of the Iowa defense from 2001 to 2004. The free safety was drafted in 2005 by the Philadelphia Eagles and has played for 5 teams in his career. Considine features on this Ravens special teams unit. And with no Bears, Packers, or Vikings to root for on Sunday, these 2 former Hawkeyes give you something to look forward to. That's all for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Eric. So, Brad, I assume by your red tie you're going to cheer for the 49ers?
Nah, I don't know. With the red tie, I still think I got to cheer for Ray Lewis in his last game going out.
Well, being a Midwest girl, I got to cheer for my Chicago Bears, but unfortunately they're not in, so I got to cheer for the next best team, 49ers, who beat the Packers, of course.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing the Packers go down either.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Thursday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Find out how, despite today's storm, Iowa City expects to pay less than average for snow removal this year.
And read about the morale captain in the training program through Dance Marathon.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.